Dun dun dun. The grand finals have arrived. We have Mystery versus Pettish. It has been a long 9 weeks. Huge thank you to absolutely everybody who was involved in this tournament. All of the team PCS over there at Project Conquerors. Bellius, just so many people that we've worked with. Elix on the PCS squad. Huge shout out to them. They have just been awesome. Obviously, huge thank you to all the players that joined in every single qualifier throughout the first 8 weeks. And obviously all the players in this top 16 tournament here as well. Just an awesome, fantastic time getting a chance to meet some of the other countries in the community, the Legends of Runeterra community, primarily France. And it was fun. It was honestly fun. And got to shout out my co-caster Boulevard, even though he decides to do it at the end of every cast for himself anyways. Boulevard, my man, always having fun with him casting, and this was no different. So let's get into the finals. We have Pettish versus Mystery for the grand finals of the PCS trophy.
Losers finals did Numiel versus Pettish, where these Ezreal Karma just can't pick up a win. Does Mystery evolve and in the second set ban something like the Endure Spiders or the Bannermen, and does that change anything?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see for sure, especially seeing this Ezreal Karma just have such a problem with the They Who Endure deck. But it does look like we are getting into the game. So I'm going to go ahead, load this bad boy up, and I want to throw a shout out real quick. I just caught this looking at, because I think, is it Mystery? No, it's Pettish on the bottom. Okay, so Pettish was our POV, and prior to the game, Pettish put every single emote for Pettish is the sad poro emote. So we'll see what we get as far as the emote game here in this tournament, how many sad poros we get. Can you actually even do that? Like, can you lock that in and change them all to the same emote? Yeah. I didn't even know that. I was unaware of that, so we'll see if we get any sad poro emotes for Pettish here.
So this is the matchup that we just saw Numiel lose. Granted, things went about as poorly as they possibly could, getting a Crocolith into double Bark Beast. Very unlikely for that to happen again, as Pettish does only play the one Crocolith. I thought that was going to be Crocolith off the top, and I was like, you know what, I'm leaving. I don't know how to cast anymore. But Mystery gets down the Ezreal that Numiel never could, which is, something that does have a pretty big impact in a matchup like this. And this time, Pettish going to pass. I think it behooves Mystery to pass once the Mystic Shot is in hand. I don't think either of these are great targets. I think you just stunt Pettish's development or kill this Bark Beast.
And we're going to see the Mystic Shot come down onto the Bark Beast, followed by the Vile Feast as well onto the Cursed Keeper. So, I had mentioned this before. It feels bad, but it seems like in a lot of these situations, you actually do have to go ahead and just deal with the Cursed Keeper. Wait, did he screw up that order?
No. He Mystic Shotted the Bark Beast, so he saved the Bark Beast by Vile Feasting his own unit.
Oh, never mind. I don't know why I was thinking that the Vile Feast was coming out from Mystery for some reason. Okay. I was looking this way, and then I looked this way, and I'm like, well, all right, hold on, never mind. So that makes sense. Okay, good. So good save on the part of Pettish, being able to save the Bark Beast there and still end up with the Abomination, the 4/3 Abomination there.
Yeah, Pettish trying to go as aggro as possible, though it's not looking great. I think there's a decent chance we see a Blighted Caretaker as the opening turn for Pettish. Otherwise, you're pushing through probably maximum 5 damage. I don't think Mystery is going to feel any type of way about throwing out this Ezreal as a blocker onto the Spiderling. So I do think it behooves Pettish to develop a little bit more, but Mystery does have Concussive Palm, which is one of the strongest sort of anti-developmental attacks in the game right now. And Pettish still, kind of mulling over the options. Kallista's not bad. Blighted Caretaker's not. Really, none of these plays available to him are bad. It's a weak open attack. It's a blowout on a Concussive Palm. Things just really not working out for Pettish on this one.
Yeah, Pettish not off to an amazing start. I mean, Mystery does have a lot of options in hand. Has the Static Shock. Opts to actually play the Chump Wump as a chump blocker, as we have said previously. Probably not necessarily going to chump block, though. Probably going to be trading with this Callista, and it does look like he's lining up that block to do just that. Only going to take this 5 damage, and will happily trade a chump wump for killing off a Callista.
Yeah, Mystery not wanting to give Pettish the option to level that Callista with the Bladed Caretaker, which is what the stun play would have opened up for Pettish, does have another chump wump to challenge the next Callista, but Pettish draws the third Callista, says, do you have an answer for this one? And Mystery says, I might.
I don't think this whole game is going to work out very well for Pettish, because we already have an Ezreal on board. The Ezreal already has a free Mystic Shot. We already have so many options in our hand to just prevent damage from coming out from Pettish with all these stuns, the Will of Ionia, and we also on top of all of that have a Karma already. This is not looking too hot for Pettish.
I don't know. I mean, this is actually a really good Endure setup. Granted, there are so many stuns on the side of Mystery as well as the Will of Ionia. You could be right. Things are looking rough for Pettish, but we are still 4 turns off of that Karma coming out. And I think there's a little bit more that Pettish could top deck to find his way back into the matchup. The triple Callista really paying out pretty good for him here. And Mystery doesn't actually have a way to kill that this turn. Would have to Will of Ionia to prevent the level up off of the Bladed Caretaker.
Yeah, we'll see what Pettish decides to do here. At some point, I think he has to get a level Callista. I know he has so many. Rip Black Spear, by the way. I feel like I always have to say that whenever we see it in hand. He used to be such a good card. Not so much anymore. Going to go ahead and take the attack, get in this Spider token with the Elise. Again, you know, the Elise seemingly being the kind of an advantage against these Karma Ezreal decks. We'll see if it's going to be able to push Pettish through to, like you said, an early Endure, fueling the Endure, possibly make it a little bit bigger, maybe draw into an Atrocity or something like that. But again, on the side of Mystery, just having so many responses here to whatever Pettish decides to do, and it looks like we're going to get, at least for now, 1 stun.
1 stun, even if you throw it onto the highest health unit, or the highest attack unit, rather, are we just seeing a Static Shock alongside it as well? I feel like we have to. You could stun the Callista, Static Shock, this 1-1 and this 4-1, but then you open up your opponent to leveling the Callista relatively soon with something like a Glimpse Beyond, especially given the fact that you will be tapped out if that is the play that you go for. I think that's what Mystery's considering, but it looks like they are going to take it. And oh no, the double Concussive Palm, not wanting to give Pettish an opportunity to level the Callista, knows that that is sort of the one thing that can really come back to bite them when they do already have such a great setup into the late game.
Yeah, and what that tells, I was just okay, perfect. Yeah, so you said, you know, set up into the late game. Him doing that kind of makes me think, okay, he's strictly thinking, well, I got Karma, I got Ezreal. This gives me 2 targets. Ezreal can just freely attack. I can do whatever the hell I want with this Ezreal, and he's just gonna play for this Karma Ezreal on turn 10. At which point, it's not gonna matter whether or not this Callista levels, because it's just he's gonna have game. We do see 1 Mystic Shot come out on this Callista, so it looks like he's setting it up for a Static Shock, though.
I'm curious to see if Mystery is going to float the spell mana and Static Shock next turn, or if he does play mana efficiently and go for it now. That would let Pettish get down the 3rd Callista, but honestly, these Callistas haven't been doing it for Pettish. We do see Mystery down to 9 HP, but 9 is a lot. 9 is not quite Atrocity range.
Nope. Yep. Okay, so he is opting to go mana efficient, like you just mentioned there. Gonna kill both 4/1s. Gonna see Callista number 3 coming down hot. All 3. See, again, with the 3 champions. Like, I feel like this keeps happening. I don't get it.
And now we actually see a leveled Ezreal on the side of Mystery, so gonna even be able to soften up Pettish going into the Karma turn. Probably, I think we see this game end before the Karma even comes out.
Yeah, oh my god. Is this like the fastest Ezreal we've ever seen leveled? This is incredibly fast.
Yeah, generally we praise Ezreal Twisted Fate, at least the older versions of the deck, as like these turbo Ezreal decks, you know, Make It Rain and Riptide Rex pretty much auto-leveling the Ezreal. You can get down really quick ones. But yeah, turn 7 might be the earliest Karma Ezreal level up we have seen as for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, that's insane, you know? I mean, that's good if you have a Sejuani or a Gangplank leveled at that level, like, but we have an Ezreal.
And that's the power of getting Ezreal down and sticking it. I think we've seen 2 or 3 Ezreal's Mystic Shots fired off this game.
And that's where I think They Who Endure loses this game, right? Like, or loses this matchup. And I mentioned this in previous games. They can't deal with a turn 3 Ezreal. Like, they just can't remove it. It doesn't get off the board. It's an elusive unit. This deck just loses to elusive units, and that's what Ezreal's doing right now. It's just going to keep chipping away at Pettish's health. We have God knows how many... Like, look at all these spells. Look at these glorious spells in hand right now. That is plenty. plenty to go ahead and, yep, that's going to be the really quick surrender on the side. Wow, that was, you want to talk about fast.
So there goes my earlier analysis of the Karma Ezreal kind of being the deck that can struggle to pick up a win in this matchup. Instead, just finds one immediately. Pettish not having the success that he found against Numiel in the previous match, that Crocolith not coming down. You know, maybe next time we see Pettish, he's packing that triple Crocolith version.
Possibly. I mean, I feel like you need that. Like, you need to be that fast in order to beat that Karma Ezreal deck. I think generally They Who Endure has a better matchup with it. Like has the advantage in that matchup, I should say. I just, you know, you draw that Ezreal turn 3. If you're able to get it down and get it leveled quickly, it's just game over, man. Game over.
Unfortunately, this is not a matchup where the Crocolith means as much. I think mulliganing that is totally fine. I'm actually not sure that I love the Omen Hawk either.
So
I just feel like this deck walls up a little bit too effectively in the early game.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly what Deep does. Does a great job of it. We already see the Thorny Toad in hand, right? So, I mean, basically anything that Pettish throws on the field is going to end up getting blocked. He does have what looks to be a really early leveled Callista here. So it'll be super good if Pettish is able to get that engine going and getting this Callista leveled. But, unfortunately, there is already a Grasp in the hand of Mystery. There is already a Vengeance. This is going to be a rough matchup for Pettish to take this one away.
Yeah, things not looking great so far. We even see the how many times have we seen
all right, he has all
sea monsters past turn 3? So I cannot count on one hand the amount of times I've seen a pro pass out of a sea monster player into a Callista into a Jaw Hunters.
Oh yeah, yep. And Jaw Hunters, just there's so many. Jaw Hunters punishes so many cards in this game. It's such a great card. And all right, so actually, not going to use this First Bladed Caretaker to level a Callista or anything like that. Instead, going to get this Bark Beast up to a 3/3. And this is a pretty good board on the side of Pettish, but I mean, you know, yeah, sure, you're going to get a good attack off now. You challenge the Thorny Toad, you go face with everything else. Great. Okay, now you have a Vile Feast and a Dreg Dredgers and all this. Like, this Mystery just has so many tools in his hand to just throw chump blockers down, go deep, heal, remove stuff on the board. Like, everything that the deep deck wants to do, he has it in hand already. I think he's set for success right here.
I mean, if we were choosing instead of begging, I could use a Maokai. I wouldn't be mad at finding a Maokai right now.
So if we want the perfect hand here, it gets one step better. And this Vile Feast at least gets fizzled, so I guess that's kind of a consolation prize on the side of Pettish. Not the greatest that you could ask for, but it is something. Going to send Mystery down to 14 health here. But the Dreg Dredger's coming out. I imagine with 2 Jettison in hand, Mystery is set to go deep here, at least on turn 6.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of quick deeps this tournament, actually. The double Jettison really plays into that pretty well. Typically, you need Maokai down to get deep on 6, but I don't think we're going to have any problems in that regard here. The Jaw Hunters doesn't even go for the Pro Pass this time, says I'll happily take out the Bark Beast. And Pettish can't develop this Neverglade Collector pre-combat like he really wanted to, is instead going to go for the Omen Hawk. Might just have to throw down all of these low-cost units in his hand to try and set up for a big Crocolith next turn, but that just runs into Dreg Dredgers.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, doesn't matter if it's 2, 3, 4 attack that it was nerfed from. This Dreg Dredgers, as long as it sucks up a block or an attack, it did its job. You got closer to deep. You saved a little bit of health. That's all that matters. Gonna see the Jettison come out now, too. And oh, man. I think Mystery is just 100% in control of this game. I mean, short of Pettish just, you know, getting an Atrocity and They Who Endure window off, like, without Mystery having some sort of response, which, I mean, right now, he has the Vengeance, so he'll always have some sort of response to it. I don't think Pettish picks this game up.
It really comes down to, is Mystery willing to fire off this Vengeance onto the Bladed Caretaker? 14 is a pretty high life total. You're really not in danger of dying to that. If the second one comes down, maybe you have to consider it, but I think that Mystery's actually going to be able to hang on to this Vengeance for the Endure. Not going to have any problem with that one. And we are, you know, we talk about turn 10 as the Karma Ezreal turn. That's also the Endure Atrocity turn. We just typically see games end long before that. Okay, I was so confused by that being a 2-2. I was like, there's no way only one unit has died this game. There's a Blighted Caretaker on board. That's impossible. But it is actually a 7/7 thanks to that Omen Hawk buff.
Yeah, so getting a They Who Endure, having the Neverglade on field, also have the Crocolith. So, I mean, The Crocolith could possibly bait out a Vengeance, but I don't think that Mystery is that concerned about Crocolith. Like, at this point in the game, turn 6, I think he just has enough tools to just say, alright, we'll just block this a couple turns and it'll go away eventually.
I feel like Pettish needs to get the pressure on, and there's two ways you can do it. You can either Crocolith now, or you can play the Neverglade Collector before you Crocolith. It does push a little bit more damage, but at least now the Crocolith will start to push through the actual defenses of Mystery. Sure, this Drag Dredgers is there, it's going to soak up the 8 damage, but it only does that one time.
But we do have Dead Bloom as well, so I mean, a combination of a lot of these blocking it over a couple turns could set it up for a Grasp of the Undying, to have it taken out by that. We might see the Grass come out this turn on something, I don't know.
I think I could definitely see Grasp onto Cursed Keeper, or Escaped Abomination, and a block from the Dead Bloom onto the Spiderling.
Oh, to get 2 procs of the Dead Bloom, yeah. So I am a little, I got to agree with you, I'm a little curious as to why he lined up the Dead Bloom with the Abomination.
He just wants to save the Grasp for something else, which is understandable.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of phenomenal Grasp targets I can think of outside of Callista and Abomination. It doesn't kill the Neverglade Collector, so it's like, eh.
Well, the problem with taking the line that he took is that, like, you know, he's kind of mana inefficient now. Like, you don't really want to play the Grass now, so now he's burning 2 mana. I don't know, it just feels a little bit bad, but he does go deep. It is turn 7. I actually thought he'd go deep a little bit quicker than that, but he kind of had the choice to do it whenever he wanted with both Jettisons, so it doesn't really matter. Gonna get the Elusive down now, and like I mentioned, this deck does not have a fun time with elusive units. We can see in hand, this elusive unit is going to get some work done.
Yeah.
He might just win with this eye. He might
yeah,
win.
things are rough. I mean, that's why I love Abyssal Eye so much. I'm trying to figure out how Pettish comes back into this game. If you get the Endure down now, and then top deck Atrocity, you've got a pretty good shot. But that is playing so hard to the Atrocity top deck. Otherwise, you do get blown out by this Vengeance.
Well, it's like, do you have to play that out at this point? Like, does the other route of playing the Neverglade Collector, does it get you anywhere further? Like, I mean, you're going to take 6 damage. I
don't love the idea of putting all of my eggs in the top deck Atrocity basket, especially because I don't think Pettish is quite at that point. I don't think he's, like, in such a desperate position that he has to throw down the Endure and hope that he can top deck the Out to Vengeance.
Yep. And, I mean, he's on a clock now because of this Abyssal Eye, right? So I think you can play the Sentry here as well. You can play this Caretaker, you can play the Sentry, you can push through maybe a little bit more damage. Does have the Devourer, though. The Devourer could get rid of something like this Neverglade.
The Caretaker.
Yeah.
Or the Neverglade. I don't know why I always screw up Bladed Caretaker and Neverglade. I think it's because we only ever see them in the same deck.
Because I think it's Collector and Caretaker, right? I think it's like, it's like similar, so... But yeah, no, I think that Devourer is going to come down on that, which also provides another blocker to just pretty evenly trade with this Ancient Crocolith really well. But gonna go ahead, take the Ruination. A good Ruination. It took us took us getting to the grand finals to see a great Ruination. Actually, no, it's a lie. We saw one earlier. So it's people are getting better at this Ruination stuff. Let's just say that. So
once you get to the finals, you always see a good Ruination.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's all she wrote, unless Pettish can randomly top deck this Atrocity, and not just that, not just top deck the Atrocity, but also find a window outside of this Vengeance to play the Atrocity. That's gonna be rough.
It is possible, though. I mean, if Pettish draws Atrocity, he probably does just win, right? Mystery is almost certainly going to proactively develop something here.
I mean, if that was actually, he can't play both in one turn though. Because it's turn 9, so we can't do the whole...
Yeah, but I mean, so if I play the Endure, and then I attack with Endure next turn, you have Vengeance mana, you play it, then I fire off Atrocity. Here we are going to see the 18-18 Endure, which is... I feel like Endures have gotten smaller in recent memory. We're typically seeing them come out sometimes before they're a 10-10, sometimes a little bit after, but it has been quite some time since we have seen an 18-18 or 20-plus HP Endure.
No, I agree, 100%. I think, like, the last...
Show me Atrocity.
Where's the Atrocity at? That's not gonna work.
I saw the spell and I was like, oh.
So can you like not attack? Like, well, all right. So if you attack, Mystery's put in a situation where, okay, do I have to play the Vengeance? Because if I play the Vengeance, my opponent can play the Atrocity in response.
I feel like if you pass, it's the same thing though, and then Mystery actually gets to be the aggressor, and like both of you can just hold your mana open forever. I mean, I guess that does like. it only advantages Pettish if he is looking for the atrocity and doesn't have it yet.
So
which Mystery could pick up on.
Yeah, and I think that Mystery, so that would behoove Mystery to just go ahead and vengeance it, because at least if he vengeances, or no, actually no, he just loses to atrocity straight out because grass doesn't put him out of range. He can block it though and still live.
Yeah.
So there is that without having to vengeance.
And I think that means we see the Fury of the North.
Ooh, yeah. Well, now this just forces out the vengeance. Yeah. And now it doesn't matter. So
the mind games are gone.
Yeah.
You're presenting lethal. I have to have vengeance. Do you have atrocity? The answer from Pettish is no.
Wow.
And now we are 2 combo pieces away from ending the game. Does have to pick up another atrocity, or actually another Endure could get it done. Now that the vengeance is out of the way.
Yeah, another Endure just going on board. It's going to be what, a 19-19 now. I mean, there's not enough heal that's really going to get him up there.
Oh, and this is just game over, right? We got the Nautilus now. We can get a treasure trove down next to it, or a shipwreck quarter as it's called.
Yeah, and now you have a 13-13 body to block, and that's going to take... You can actually block the They Who Endure twice and still live, which feels super, super bad, which will actually kill the They Who Endure as well. So I guess the only way Pettish wins now is literally his next 2 draws are They Who Endure and Atrocity. Right?
That does seem to be the case.
I think that's got to be it. He needs to draw They Who Endure on his very next draw, and then he needs to draw Atrocity going into his opponent's next attack turn, otherwise he just dies.
That's the one really weird thing about something like Legends of Runeterra, where the order in which you draw your outs does matter a lot more than any other card game I can think of.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because Yu-Gi-Oh, you can generally just draw whatever you wanted. Oh, there's one!
There's piece number 1. Here is They Who Endure. Oh, but Mystery picks up the treasure trove. What is in the box, SJW? Show me the money.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Oh, wait. I can't even really tell.
Genevieve, Pull Shark.
Nothing.
I think that's Alpha Wildclaw,
he...
Sorrow Scribe, and is that the Sump Work map creator?
I don't know.
The middle one?
Yes. No. That's the Aeronaut. That's like elusive.
Okay.
So, that's not enough, though. Because of this Nautilus being able to block, it's not enough. I think...
Okay.
Yeah, this feels bad.
But what if we draw Atrocity?
If we draw Atrocity, Pettish has it.
The Mystery needed... in order to completely seal out the game, Mystery needed something to deal with the Endure. And there are a couple of answers. Purify, Detain, Vengeance.
So that's a card we don't ever see.
Alpha Wildclaw? Yeah, I'm surprised I remembered its name.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that new Challenger Regeneration card or whatever. I
like that card a lot. I think that card sucks, but I like it.
Okay, then. Well, I guess that's that. Okay, well, we got one more draw.
So, critically, the Nautilus died, which means a Nautilus top deck is off the table here in the case of a Riptide, which... Mystery does top deck the Nautilus. Pettish does not top deck the Atrocity, and just a quick surrender is how we're going to end this finals. Mystery Hearthstone picking this one up 2-0 is your PCS trophy champion.
Wow. So day 1, we had so many long drawn out back and forth games, and now just absolutely blowing out in the finals. Mystery taking out Pettish. Doing such a great job, just oh my god! And this whole tournament too, he didn't lose a match the entire tournament. He didn't even need. You told me this is double elimination. I don't need no stinking double elimination. Get rid of that. I don't need that. All right, and Mystery is your champion. Mystery taking it home, beating Pettish again in the rematch. Didn't even give him a second shot. Just absolutely crushed him. That was one heck of a final. Ladies and gentlemen, just so good. Thank you very much. This whole PCS trophy tournament. Thank you for watching all these videos. I hope you guys enjoyed all the footage from this tournament. It's been a blast getting it up on YouTube for all you fine folk out there. And don't forget to subscribe. Again, if you are interested in other tournaments, I am still casting Duels of Runeterra, as well as tons of other, Brazilian tournaments, whatever really pops up in the Legends of Runeterra community, I'm going to be there, probably with Boulevard. So, as always, everybody, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope it just works for you, and peace out.